And then he says that the news network that is most critical of him should be taken off the air. This is not a reach. I could go back and talk about Nazi Germany, and I do it without any concerns whatsoever. And if people can't start drawing the parallels, well, you're just stupid, or you have your head in the sand, or you're one of them.
Many hours later.
Last Thursday, we expressed our own concerns on this broadcast and even said we would appreciate the opportunity to speak with the president-elect himself. On Friday, we were given the opportunity to do just that. Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
The triumph is complete. Our enemies have not just been vanquished, they are being forced to go through public humiliation rituals. And no, I'm not talking about the rather strange propensity woke leftists have of videoing their own meltdowns and then sharing them with the world. No. I'm talking about MSNBC executives forcing Joe and Mika to kiss the ring of number 47 himself. We're going to take a look at the humiliating fallout from that meeting at Mar-a-Lago, why it happened in the first place, and what it all means for the fledgling future of the ultra-woke MSNBC. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your patriot professor, basking in the glow of the dawn of the new golden age that you made happen, and we're not going to want to miss a second of it. So if you want a front row seat on all the great and glorious things that are happening as a result of what you did on November 5th, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Before we continue to feast on the spoils of victory, let's give a huge shout out to one of our sponsors who makes these videos possible, and that's Liver Health Formula. Now, if you're one of the 100 million Americans struggling with all the weight gain and loss of energy that comes with a fatty liver, these patriots are going to be your absolute best friend. Liver Health Formula is an all-natural supplement. It contains 12 clinically proven botanicals that help recharge and protect your liver. It's manufactured right here in the USA, and it's approved by independent American doctors. And if you click on that link below right now, you can try Liver Health Formula and receive a free bottle of blood sugar formula when you order today. So don't let a fatty liver keep you sluggish and inactive, gang. As many of you know, this is personal for me. I myself lost over 60 pounds, and I could say it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. So now it's your turn. Click on that link below or go to getliverhelp.com/Turley and claim your free bonus gift. That's getliverhelp.com/Turley. As many of you know, MSNBC has been suffering from a ratings apocalypse ever since the election. Every single show on the network, every single one, is seeing their ratings nosedive. Glenn Greenwald is noting that their primetime shows can't even garner 75,000 viewers watching in the key demographic of 18 to 54-year-olds. I mean, this is an absolute ratings bloodbath. And so, as part of an attempt at reversing course here, Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough have been, in the words of Outkick, crawling back to Trump on their hands and knees after spending the last 4 years calling him Hitler and his supporters fascists. And just in case that opening montage didn't get the point across, take a look at what Mika was saying literally 2 weeks ago.
As important as Trump's fascism is, and is the lead story every day, his cozying up to dictators, his obsession with Hitler that has now come out, what he has said about our veterans, and what he wants to do with the military against his political adversaries, it's all huge news. This is the future that we're looking at in the next Trump term, if there is one. But this is what voters know right now, that he is killing us. I'm talking about us women. He's killing us.
So there you have it. Trump is Hitler. Trump's a fascist. We're fascists. We all represent the end of our democracy, and he is already engaged. Trump is already engaged in a mass genocide of women across the nation. He is killing us. He is killing us. That is the kind of unhinged hysterical absurdity that MSNBC's dwindling audience was treated to 24/7 in the lead up to this election. but now? Now?
As for us, we also let him know that we will continue to speak truth to power and push back hard when called for.
Oh, please.
As we have with all presidents.
Don't be mistaken. We're not here to defend or normalize Donald Trump. We're here to report on him.
I searched for a way to respond appropriately, and I called on my 10 years as a litigator in addition to my now 20 as a journalist, and I think I found the perfect phrase: go yourselves. Go yourselves, you dishonest jokes of faux journalists. What an absurd farce that was, Glenn. Which one was insincere? He's Hitler, or now we're going to speak truth to power and find a way of speaking to and working with Donald Trump? Which one was a lie?
Yeah, needless to say, Joe and Mika's faux apology tour ain't fooling anyone. Literally no one. Here's the great Greg Gutfeld bringing his usual fire.
I feel like, I love this story, that I should greet this reversal with the best intentions. They've seen the light. They've changed their minds. Remember, J.D. Vance had negative views on Donald Trump, and now he's his VP. So there is chance for redemption, and it should be welcome. And the Republican Party has evolved because of this. The people who never thought they were going to be in the Republican Party, Musk, RFK, Trump, Rogan, they're all Trump, all Democrats. So we benefit from this. Now I'm back to reality. Morning Joe is hemorrhaging viewers. It appears that the network is for sale and you can't sell it in its current state. You can't just throw a fresh coat of paint on this turd. This move was a survival for the show and a survival for them. They had no options. If you noticed, they did not admit that they were lying. They didn't admit that they were contributing to the demonization hysteria that caused many, many bad things, including, of course, their present day humiliation. They didn't say the Hitler stuff was BS. We're sorry, and maybe we should reflect on that. Maybe we should take a few weeks off and think about what assholes we were. But you know what? I don't trust him. Morning Joe has changed his mind before. He was, up Trump's butt, claiming that he wanted to be his VP many years ago, and now he's doing this. This is self-preservation at its very worst.
You don't get more than one switch. You can't love them and then hate them and then love them again.
Yeah, they're abusing the transitioning.
And what Gutfeld just said there is absolutely right. Of course, we're willing to give the benefit of the doubt. Of course. If you're once a Trump hater and now you get it, now you've been red pill. I mean, that was like half his supporters today. That's what they were doing back in 2015, 2016. They were all like for Ted Cruz and Rand Paul or, Trump had to sell himself with them. And he did. Now they're red pilled. Welcome home. The water's great. But it's not particularly hard to discern saints from snakes. We know forked tongue slithering duplicity when we see it, when we smell it. And Scarborough is the embodiment of that forked tongue duplicity. Can you even begin to imagine what Joe and Mika would be saying today had Trump lost? Can you even imagine it? If you think he's killing us, if that was 48 hours before the election, can you imagine what they'd be saying 48 hours after a Kamala victory? They'd be calling for every authority in the nation to make sure that Trump dies in prison. They'd be calling for our mass arrest. This isn't over. This isn't over. As long as MAGA supporters are out there, the Trump threat to our democracy continues. He lost the election. Now it's time to take out his supporters. That's what you would have been hearing from borderline illiterate Joe this morning, had they won. The fact that they had to grovel, the fact that Trump made them travel to see him, to crawl into that room on their hands and knees is indicative of just how utterly duplicitous and ridiculous these two really are. Not even his own fan base buys it. Not even Joe Scarborough's fan base. Not even MSNBC staffers buy it. MSNBC's own staff are calling Joe and Mika cowards. And calling what they did, quote, disgusting, but frankly, unsurprising. I wonder why. They're being accused of opportunism and turning their backs on their dwindling audience. And then perhaps most telling of all, Katie Fang tweeted out, normalizing Trump is a bad idea, period. Normalizing Trump is a bad idea. That's what Mika and Joe did. Normalize Trump. Someone has to inform Ms. Fang that winning the popular vote and sweeping all 7 swing states with the biggest election victory for any Republican in 40 years, that probably already normalized him. Nevertheless, the liberal pylon did not stop with MSNBC's own staff. Here's the still shell-shocked and disillusioned Jon Stewart.
And for those asking why we would go speak to the president-elect during such fraught times, especially between us, I guess I would ask back, why wouldn't we?
Because you said he was Hitler. But, okay. Tap out. But look, we don't know what the visit was. We don't know what the tone of the visit was.
We talked about a lot of issues, including abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution against political opponents, and media outlets.
Oh, I bet you really laid down the gauntlet, Joe. I bet you walked in there and just let him have it, didn't you, Joey? I'm going to do a one-act play called Joe and Mika Go to Mar-a-Lago. Mr. President, your rhetoric is outrageous. I cannot in good conscience... Ooh, are those macaroons? The pink one is raspberry.
So as you can see, the wrath that Joe and Mika are facing from their own liberal ilk is fierce. And I frankly don't see how they're going to make it out of this, because the seriousness of this actually goes even beyond the ratings. It's not just the ratings that are forcing Joe and Mika to bow before the throne and kiss the ring of the king of Mar-a-Lago. MSNBC executives are scared to death of Trump's growing threats to pull their federally issued broadcast license. And if you're not aware, Trump has actually tapped Brendan Carr to head the FCC in his new administration. And what's so awesome about that nomination is not only is Carr a good friend of Elon Musk and a staunch opponent of big tech censorship, you're going to love this. Talk about irony of ironies. He's also the co-author, I kid you not, he is the co-author of Project 2025. Yes, that Project 2025 that the Democrats have so completely freaked themselves out over. So make no mistake, man. The execs over at MSNBC are comparably freaked out that a new Trump administration that knows it has a mandate from the people may indeed make very good on these threats to punish these far left propaganda outlets disguising themselves as news corporations. So let's just say things are going from bad to worse for the ultra-woke leftists over at MSNBC. We truly did win an election on November 5th. But if what's happening and all the frenzy and hysteria coming out of MSNBC is any indicator, we won far more than an election. It looks like we won the culture as well.